Hello everyone, this is the History Spectrum channel. In this video, we will discuss the American Revolution 1775 to 1783. Please watch it through to the end, as there are some surprising stories from the war years. Young Washington was destined for a military career. He possessed natural leadership qualities and a strong sense of justice, and began taking on public roles at a young age. At the age of 21, he served in the French and Indian War, where he was recognized for his bravery and command skills. Washington's military career was defined from a young age by his leadership and determination. A commander, Washington was known for his tactics and endurance. He often overcame difficulties with ingenious tactics and fortitude, even when outnumbered. His surprise attack on Christmas night at the Battle of Trenton was one of the best examples of this, and contributed greatly to the victory. Washington's tactical wisdom and tenacity led him to victory in many battles, and cemented his reputation as a commander-in-chief. Washington's leadership was the foundation for the founding of the United States. He was a fair and respected leader who played a major role in the nation's youth. His becoming president after the Revolutionary War and handing over power himself at the end of his second term in office set a precedent for democracy. George Washington's leadership and legacy are the reasons he is revered as the father of America, and his life and accomplishments continue to be celebrated. The world of spies and cryptography. Cryptography was used to keep important secrets during war. Messages had to be translated in complex ways so that the enemy would not know the plan. During the American Revolutionary War, ciphers were used to communicate orders and strategies devised so that they could not be deciphered by the enemy. Cryptography was a smart way to send messages securely, and could even determine the course of a war. Spies took on dangerous missions to protect their country. Knowing the enemy's plans and weaknesses was vital to the success of the war. Spies like Benedict Arnold provided information, but historians are divided on their impact. With their courage and cunning, spies often secretly changed the fate of the war. Information warfare was a very important tactic for winning wars. By deceiving the enemy, they were able to gain an advantage on the battlefield and pave the way to victory. In Operation Dover Dodger, the Allies used many means to deceive Germany. The art of deception was not just a trick, but a clever tactic that drove the war and in many cases was the key to victory. The Battle of Saratoga and the Siege of Yorktown. The Battle of Saratoga was a turning point in the American Revolution. This victory was the catalyst for bringing European nations, especially France, to the American side. American forces secured a strategically important position and dealt a decisive blow to the forces of the British Empire. The victory at Saratoga was a turning point in the American Revolutionary War and a major catalyst for the creation of new alliances. The Siege of Yorktown determined the final victory of the American Revolutionary War. The Allied forces of the United States and France succeeded in completely encircling and forcing the surrender of the British forces. The Allied forces mounted a ground and sea siege that forced the British forces to surrender. The victory at Yorktown was a historic moment in American independence and heralded the birth of a new nation to the world. These battles were won through precise strategy and brave decisions. Leaders sometimes took bold risks, read the situation accurately, and made decisions that led to victory. In many battles, General George Washington made decisions that turned the tables despite being outnumbered. Behind every battle, there was wise strategy, and sometimes bold decisions by the leaders that led to victory. The War for Independence. The drafting of the Declaration of Independence began with a strong desire of Americans for freedom. There was a growing desire for independence and self-determination from British rule. A committee of 5, including Thomas Jefferson, drafted the Declaration under the direction of the Continental Congress. The drafting of the Declaration of Independence was a historic moment that demonstrated to the world the strong commitment of Americans to freedom and independence. The Declaration of Independence became an American idea and a document that influenced the entire world. The Declaration contained the revolutionary idea that all men were equal and had certain unalienable rights. The Declaration asserted the legitimacy of American independence and influenced democratic movements in other countries. The Declaration of Independence shaped America's founding principles and communicated the values of freedom and equality to people around the world. The Declaration of Independence became the basis for shaping the identity and direction of the United States. The document became a symbol of American values, political ideals, and national unity. The Declaration of Independence influenced the spirit of the U.S. Constitution and the civil rights movement that followed. The Declaration of Independence has had a profound impact on the history and future of the United States and has become a symbol of national identity and freedom. Alliance with France. In the early years of the American Revolution, the alliance with France was uncertain and carefully forged. France had a long history of hostility with Great Britain, and officially supporting the United States entailed great risk. The American victory at the Battle of Saratoga was the decisive moment that moved France to the alliance. Although the alliance with France began slowly, it eventually became an important support for American independence and contributed significantly to the outcome of the war. French aid played an important role in changing the course of the war. In the American Revolution, French assistance ranged from military funds, weapons, and trained soldiers. French naval participation was a decisive factor in forcing the British forces to surrender, especially during the Siege of Yorktown. Foreign aid was essential to the success of the American Revolution. and French support in particular was an important impetus for victory. After American independence, a new international order was formed, and the United States began diplomacy with the nations of the world. Having won its independence, the United States needed to be recognized as an internationally sovereign nation and to establish relations with other nations. The Treaty of Paris of 1783 provided international recognition of American independence and defined a new relationship with Great Britain. Post-victory diplomacy was a new challenge for the United States and an opportunity to establish its role in the international community. An unexpected and interesting story. Benjamin Franklin, a successful printer and politician, allegedly created and distributed a fake newspaper to confuse the hostile British. He intended this newspaper to bring unrest and division within Britain by publishing support from fictitious allies and false reports of battles. This disinformation is said to have demoralized the British Army and influenced the course of the American Revolutionary War. As an early example of information warfare, this operation by Franklin has strategic aspects that still affect us today. How was it? In this video, I explained the American Revolution. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like this video. History Spectrum.